Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty. Give thanks, big up on yourself. We're there again with another episode of the Vybz Kartel trial. Because we've been talking about this for many years, So, what we're going to know, we're going to get into some what's happening right now today, the 14th February 2024. There is a case going on. But first, let me just say Happy Valentine's to the Queen.
Oh, thank
because
you.
Rasta
Happy
don't
Valentine's.
really believe in them something, But my Queen believe in a Babylon, Babylonism, So we're face.
Do I?
But anyway, people, we're gonna talk about Vybz Kartel. I personally believe that Vybz Kartel will be free.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you do the reading.
Well,
we
yeah,
go
'cause-
through. Look at that man. That man name is Clive Lizard Williams. And when I see Clive, that's you feel like
they killed you.
Yeah, like that's my name.
Interesting.
But this man that that Vybz Kartel allegedly killed.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever find a trace of him.
Right.
In
But the
Jamaica, we
case
say
that's
cheese.
going on now is an appeals case, asking questions regarding the original murder trial and whether or not there was a miscarriage of justice that happened at that time. So, in 2014, right, there was Jamaica's longest running court case,
65 days.
65 days. With these plaintiffs, Sean Campbell, Adidja Palmer, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John.
Yeah.
After those 65 days, the jury was let to go deliberate, and they returned the verdict like an hour and 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Right? Look, it was really quick. It was really quick deliberation after a long trial.
Yeah.
Where they were convicted and imprisoned and all the rest of it. Anyway, now, however many years later, now they did try to appeal once before.
Yeah.
When it was overturned.
So
now they've gone all the way to, this is an appeal
in England
to His Majesty, King Charles, which is how that works. This is the
highest
level. They've gone all the way up to try and appeal that first trial.
Because whether they like it or not, that this man is in prison. Is that this an innocent man in prison? Because they never find anything. No, there is no DNA. There was only a cell phone that the police tamper with that evidence and use it for its personal use.
Okay, interesting. So it's important, though, I think, to remember that this case happening now, today and tomorrow, the 14th and the 15th of February 2024, is an appeals case to see if they will overturn. That is to say that they would backdate it as a mistrial and say that the first trial was a mistrial. There are three specific questions.
Yeah.
Because this is how it works. You can't just say it was an unfair trial. You have to give grounds. You have to give reasons. Why? Why should this appeal be even heard? And the three reasons that they've given are, or the three questions, as it were, right, that they are deliberating today and tomorrow, is one, should the trial judge have excluded the telecommunications evidence relied on by the prosecution? Telecommunication evidence means telephone. What were you just saying?
The phone that Vybz Kartel used, the Vybz Kartel personal phone, a police take it out of evidence and use it for his personal use.
Okay, so question...
The phone that was in, the phone in question that with the evidence on it.
So then, number one question is, should that have been admissible as evidence? Because it was. They used it in the trial.
It couldn't use as evidence
but they
because
did.
they tampered. But they use it, yes.
So that's question number one. Question number two is, how should the judge have handled the allegations that there were attempts to bribe members of the jury. during the trial? Should the jury or the particular juror said to have offered the bribes have been discharged? Because what happened was allegations were made that one of the jurors tried to bribe to pay off other jury members to sway their vote. That information was brought to the judge, right? Who decided
to keep that jury,
to keep the whole jury and that juror,
including that one.
Because it could have been that they decided, we have to get rid of the whole jury. We have to get a whole new jury.
Yeah.
Or they could have decided, we'll keep the jury, get rid of this one juror.
Yeah.
But they decided on
To
option
keep
3, which
all
is
of
keep
them.
everything. So
that I believe that that's why I said I believe that he's going to be free. Third one.
Yeah. So the third one that they're asking is, was the judge wrong to invite the jury to reach a verdict late in the day, given the special circumstances of the case? As in, that he allowed them to reach their verdict late in the day, like, you didn't sleep on it, they didn't take a long deliberation time. It was, yes, you can, rather than come back tomorrow morning and give the verdict early, they were allowed to just leave.
Right away. Just bury them.
And late in the day. So those are the three questions.
Yeah,
I mean, number 2 is
I
a
believe
two-parter.
that. Okay, when you read this, what do you think? How do you look at it?
I'm not as familiar as you are with the original case.
No, but what you read from this, from the 3 questions.
Those 3 questions, in terms of saying that this appeals case should be heard because maybe some mistakes were made in the original trial, that makes sense to me. That's why we have appeals, or that's why sometimes there are mistrials because things go wrong. A miscarriage of justice is something that we try to avoid, right? Because it's one thing that you are indicted, that you are arrested, that you are accused of a crime, and then what happens is someone has to prove it. And you can't, if you bungle too much evidence, or say you have a jury that gets too much outside information or something that influences them, rather than them having an approach to the facts of the case, not the opinions of the people outside, or if evidence is used that was somehow attained in an incorrect manner, or it was tampered with in some way, or it could have been tampered with and there's no way to prove that it was or wasn't. Sometimes really good evidence can't be admitted into a case because of those things. Because if it was, it would give people the chance to appeal a conviction. So if they allowed all these things to happen, then, right? Honestly, the big one for me is this thing with the jury, the allegation that there was a jury member who was trying to bribe the others, because that sounds to me like
how does he get to sit for the rest of the day?
Why would they that's a bit weird. I'm not a lawyer. I am not a judge.
No, but
I have never studied the law.
We're just using
as a lay person, though, reading this, I'm kind of going, yeah, okay.
But with the phone, though, like you said that there was evidence on this phone. They put the phone in evidence collection, whatever, and one police take the phone out and using it for his own personal use for weeks, and then bring that phone back, tamper with evidence, and then bring it back. I don't see any of this thing make sense, because if they did find any kind of DNA, remember you don't know, but they bulldozer I think 2 of his house down, looking for some kind of evidence.
Oh, right, okay.
Like bulldoze, I'm talking about big mansion, like maybe 3-4 size of this concrete. They bulldoze right down. You understand? And looking for some kind of DNA, some kind of dead body, or some whatever. They find nothing.
I have a question for you. Semi-related, but not totally. A moral question.
All right, go for
Just for you to answer personally.
Go for it.
That's my phone. I'm so sorry.
Where's your phone? I think it should be on silent. I told you, it should be on silent.
Okay.
Martha coming back with the question soon. She's just checking. Please put it on silent here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I go with phone these days. Always making sound. But then,
okay,
question.
Yeah. So when it comes to the idea of we have a justice system, and when you are accused, when you are arrested, when you are accused of a crime, the burden is put on when it's a criminal thing, right? I'm not talking about private, like suing each other sort of matters or that sort of thing, or like custody thing. Not that. I'm talking about criminal convictions. The burden of proof is on the state or the government in some way to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you have committed this crime. Right? Now, because there are certain rules that are put into place about what kind of evidence you can use, or what kind of evidence can be shown, or what kind of testimonies can be shown, or what kind of questions you can ask, or that you have to debrief people ahead of time. You can't opposing sides have to inform each other about the witnesses that they're bringing in and the evidence. They can't surprise the other side, right? Can't do that. We have rules.
Yeah.
Because of that, it means that if you don't follow the rules, or if it's really gray area, depending on whether these rules were followed or the original trial went the correct way, certain verdicts could be appealed. Now, maybe it could be an appeal because somebody went free who the prosecutors really truly believe is guilty, and we should. And sometimes it's like this, right? Okay, so not acquitted. What is it? Like, the verdict was guilty of this crime, and imprisoned for life. But the appeals case now says, here are the 3 specific things that we think were so wrong with the original trial, that in fact that trial should have been a mistrial.
Yeah.
When the system is set up for this possibility, it means that there's always a chance that guilty men go free, or guilty women go free the first time, because stuff goes wrong. Would you rather see guilty men and women go free than innocent men and women be jailed?
Guilty man go free? No, no, we wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want to see a guilty person go free.
No, but I'm just saying, listen, given the system that we have, if something goes wrong with the evidence and you can't use it, and that means that you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person, even if you know it, even if everybody knows
you're going to have to let them go and then catch them at a later date, because you don't have the proof.
But that's the way the system works. But the system is meant to be this way to avoid innocent people.
Yeah.
Because you can't just
Jamaica's system is completely different. Jamaica's system is nothing but corruption.
Well, this is the English system they're in.
Yeah, this is going to be different. No, I believe that this is going to be different.
Yeah.
The case that in Jamaica, Vybz Kartel was accused of murdering Clyde Lizard Williams.
Did you call him Clyde?
Clive.
Oh, okay.
My name, Clive. Like me, Clive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he was accused of, taking out this person.
Yeah.
And there was no evidence. Like, zero evidence. They don't have one evidence that they can say, this is the you understand? They just said, okay.
They must have had some evidence. Otherwise, you simply can't convict.
That's the thing. Where is the evidence? They present everything. The phone. Okay, Martha, gonna look it up now.
After a trial lasting 65 days before the trial, judge and jury in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston, Jamaica, the applicants were convicted of Mr. Williams' murder. The prosecution's case was that the appellants murdered Mr. Williams on the 16th of August 2011 after he failed to return 2 unlicensed firearms, which the second appellant, Mr. Palmer, had given him for safekeeping. Mr. Williams was not seen or heard from after that date, and his body has never been found. The police took the appellants into custody on the 30th of September 2011 and seized their cellular telephones. The prosecution relied heavily on evidence derived from these phones, which was taken from a copy of a CD-ROM provided by Digicel, a telecommunications provider in Jamaica, in response to a police request. At the trial, the appellants challenged the admissibility of this telecommunications evidence. They argued that the police request to Digicel and Digicel's provision of data to the police were carried out in breach of the Interception of Communications Act. Further, the evidence had been obtained in breach of the fundamental right to the protection of privacy of communication guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom contained in the Jamaican Constitution. However, the trial judge ruled that the telecommunications evidence was admissible. So, the bulk amount of the evidence that was used was
the same phone that the police was using.
It's not the phone. It's not the phone.
No, what was it?
So it's not a phone. What happened was
the Digicel communication.
Asked them to give them information about
but Digicel is a phone company.
Yes.
But what information? Where is the information?
It was used in the trial. It's information that would have been
A
information
Vice
like
note, a Vice
would
note
have been
that's
text,
circling the internet.
and it could have been
Do you
text
know?
messages, could have been photos, could have been phone calls, times of phone calls.
Yeah, but they never present that to the public. Everything else they put out to the public, but
Yeah.
not that.
No, that was kept. That was in the case. Because here's the thing: once they're not gonna give it to the public if they're using it in the court of law, right?
No, but there's a lot of case come out. There's a lot of things come out from the case.
But Clive, listen to what I just read.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
No wonder they didn't release it to the public, because even using it in the trial sounds like it might have been in breach of the fundamental right to the protection of privacy of communication guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms contained in the Jamaican Constitution. In the Jamaican Constitution, there is a right to privacy of communications. That means that if you take somebody's call logs and share it with the public, then you are in breach of the Constitution. So, now this was a specific court case, in which case they got this information and it was used to prosecute them. So it may well be that evidence that they obtained was incriminating, but the point is, that the way in which they went about it and the specific information that they got and the fact that they used it in the trial might have been in breach of the Constitution. And that means that even if they committed the crime, and even if Digicel had information that could prove that they may have committed the crime, if that in fact was not admissible evidence, then even if you know that they did it, they should not have been convicted on the back of that, because the evidence was obtained in breach of the Constitution.
Exactly. So, okay, but I never know that. I just learned that now. But because we always mostly focus on what is in front of us, not what is behind. So now we're learning that. I'm learning. I'm quite sure that many people know this a long time before me, so please don't correct me on that. But the Digicel, they use evidence from Digicel, the phone company. Digicel need to close down too. We're gonna make sure, because no. The thing is, if Vybz Kartel walk free, Digicel have to pay some kind of compensation, or what they call it. They have to pay something. The man do about 13 years in prison.
But it's not really as much about the obtaining of it as it is about using it in court. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I believe deep that this man is in prison not because he allegedly killed someone. This man was way too powerful, way too influential. When I tell you that this man come out with a shoes, Clarks is something that a shoes in England. Just a little bit to show you who is this person. He sing about a shoes.
Yeah.
And the next day, the price for one of that shoes is touching the roof.
Yeah.
This man bleach his face, bleach his skin. The whole Jamaica culture been bleaching for a very long time, but when this man start doing it, and he make a song and say cool like me wash my face with the cake soap, the cake soap they use it to wash the face, blah blah. He make a song, cake soap go through the roof. The price of those things. So I'm telling you, like, anything this man do.
Yeah.
You understand? Did I tell you about when we were like I think we were like 12, 13? Did we go to a beach in Montego Bay called Aquasal, where he was performing at All School Jam, something like that. And this man was wearing a shoes like we use for dressing shoes, like you go to church or funeral or wedding. You know those long kind of snake skin looking shoes. Back then we used to have them. But I have one black one. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
This man wear one of that. And then we find a bag. My uncle have like a lot of those shoes. My uncle wear only those kind of classic,
Right.
And we find a bag of it. And when I tell that me and my brother and everybody start wearing those shoes to school, the whole fucking school start follow. But guess where it's coming from? From this guy, Vybz Kartel. The man is very influential. Okay. And this man can make anybody.
But it sounds like you think that there was an ulterior motive to try and get him imprisoned for anything.
A lot, definitely.
Just quickly, just want to touch on this thing about Digicel, and we should shut them down, and they shouldn't be able to give this information. I just would like to point out that yes, this is a true thing. That, like, okay, how private is my information?
My privacy,
But child traffickers child molesters would say the same thing. So, and I'm just saying, there's always another side of the coin, right? Because in that kind of a trial, if you know that somebody committed a crime like that,
if it's breach of the Constitution, then they cannot use it for shit.
That depends. I know, but you understand why? That's why sometimes you wanna be able to be an exception. What if the crime is so heinous that, in fact, to not do it would be putting the other citizens in danger? Do you understand how there's a way to say?
I understand.
Yeah,
I do understand what you're saying, but we're talking about Vybz Kartel, one of the most famous man in the entire.
We are, but we're also talking about trials and the law and how these things can get murky.
But I'm trying to show you that when they couldn't find no form of evidence, they start digging.
And they asked Digicel
for everywhere.
For these, presumably. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what information is there. Probably a lot of other people know this better. But could have been photos, could have been messages, it could have just been GPS locations that the phone was giving
back then when they used to use that razor phone. I don't know if you know what a razor phone looked like. It's a ugly looking with a lot of buttons.
In 2014. No, in 2011.
They're using razor phone.
Right.
And technology wasn't that great. Technology was okay, but it was not like today.
Well, location information was all right though.
You have a few photos, you have a few videos.
Yeah, but you still would have pinged off mobile towers for location.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out okay, what could Digicel provide?
Well, we don't really know, but presumably anything from call logs to message logs to any location to maybe which base station.
And that is enough to give a man 35 years in prison? A phone that anyone can use to send a text message?
And the flip side of that is the jury that convicted him, which was also part of their appeal process. So, listen, they're asking... These are the right questions regarding that trial, regarding the evidence, regarding the jurors.
Hold on, I think I missed something. Yeah. The jury that was trying to bribe someone, bribing meaning that they were paying somebody to say he was guilty or not guilty.
Bribing means offering someone...
Yeah, I know, but to say guilty or not guilty.
That it doesn't say.
Okay, but because so we don't know if that...
In fact, that's not necessary. We don't know which way that was being...
Which was going, but it was going one way.
If it was happening, if it was in fact happening... It's an incorrect way.
I can promise you that if that jury was bribing somebody to say Vybz Kartel is not guilty, that jury would have been in prison with him right now. But so I am almost sure that the jury was trying to say he's guilty.
But regardless of whether it was guilty or not guilty, was there, if there was a juror who was trying to bribe the other jurors to sway their vote, that is not justice. That's not how the justice system works. You can't have that. And if that happens, if that does in fact happen, although the judge seems to have decided that oh no, it's fine, they can all stay. Back then, but if it in fact did happen, you sort of have to think, well, how much do I trust that jury's verdict now?
Yeah.
I mean, what if they say, oh no, that's not what's happening, but then it is, and somebody's paying somebody under the table? We don't know. Now, they came back with 10-1, I think. I think it was a jury of 11, and they came back with 10-1.
No.
Right? 10-1 to convict. I think we probably should try and wrap it up pretty soon because we want to get this video out quick, and we want to get it up. Tomorrow is the 15th.
And we will try to make another video.
And the last day of the appeal trial. So tomorrow, presumably, we will all find out the verdict in the appeal case.
Yeah.
And then we can have a little chat about that and upload
that
as well.
I think tomorrow we are celebrating.
Oh, I don't have a dog in this fight.
You don't have a dog in this fight, but we have a king in this fight. The King Vybz Kartel, and there's only one king. So you don't really know Vybz Kartel like that, but let me tell you something. This man bring so many joy to people through his music.
Yeah.
I know they was gonna Bob Marley him, but good thing they don't Bob Marley him. And something else with him, Jack Urim. Jack Urim is another one that's in prison all the time. He was in prison for many years, and then He get out of prison doing really good.
Yeah.
Go to Amsterdam, stab a man. You see me cover that story. Stab one man. Well, leave that out for now. But I have a feeling Vybz Kartel is going to walk free tomorrow. I have a feeling he will walk free tomorrow, and we will celebrate. But we will try to.
Regardless, there will be an outcome, and we will know what it is, right?
And we will follow up with another video tomorrow. Martha the Reader, Clive Lawrence the Talker. Give thanks, big up on yourself, best up on yourself. Remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. This channel, plus I'm Martha Let's Talk, and the audio channel Let's Listen.
And Welder Clive.
And Welder Clive. Give thanks. Rastafari is life every time.
Every time.